America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Welcome, America. That's right. This is your old host, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King, with Home Talk USA, King Broadcasting, the Cajun Contractor. And welcome all of you to the Invent America show right here. I'd like to welcome to the show, well, the co-host of the show. And I tell you, what she's doing in the manufacturing market, the getting the entrepreneur market, all the young, I don't know, developers and brilliant minds that's trying to get product to market, what she's doing and the comments that we're getting and the money that we're saving these people, giving them the blueprint isn't amazing. And I know I put her on the spot, but she is the inventor lady. She is the originator. She is not the duplicator. So for the first time, I can say that I'm going to have to share my tagline that she is the originator, not the duplicator. Please don't accept no substitutions. The inventor lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Miss Rita, I just gave you top bill there. You know what I mean?
You did. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I feel like I've, been given a big promotion.
Well, the more I can pump you up, the less I have to do. So, my alternative motive. But no, I tell you, I've been doing Home Talk USA for over 30 years, and I love my show. I love what we do. And but at the end of the day, I just can't wait to do the Invent America show because, how can I say it? That each week it's different. Each week we have different. It's not like my show. You understand? I know what to expect. Man, with your show and our show here, I don't know what to expect.
Well, the cool thing is I get to meet all these new inventors. So I'll have inventors on that I've known for years, like George, and then I'll have new inventors on, like Dan, and be able to, share products that are just coming to market, products that have been out there. It's so much fun. And when I can introduce an inventor who's got, some skin in the game and been out there for a while to a new inventor that says, here, let me give you some advice. Let me help you out. Let me tell you the mistakes I made so that you don't make them. And that's wonderful. I know we've got Dave Wood, who is one of our sponsors and going to ASD Market Week with us. And he has got this product that I've got on my house. All right, because it is so cool. And he's got a new one that he's taking to ASD Market Week. And my husband goes, and how fast can I get one? So it's really fun to see some of those products. And I know with Dan, when he told me what it was like, holy cow, I've got two of those. I need to, get his product to protect them. And, it's wonderful. And I know that George has got some great products. So, America invents. We solve problems. That's why we do Invent America, because America invents. And we would not be in this country. We would not have America if it wasn't for the fact that there were people solving problems all the way across the ocean so they didn't sink.
Well, Home Talk USA is after the fact. And one thing I can say about Invent America, it's before the fact.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Before watching these young companies grow, a lot of them don't even have an idea what direction they're going and where this might. But, I think me and you can recognize through our experience of over 30 years, whether or not this technology is really going to make a difference. Maybe not today, maybe not, in a couple of weeks, a couple of years. But some of these technologies we know eventually is going to change lives. And that's what's excitement about it. I am a fortune teller. I can see the future, I mean, I'm doing good in the stock market right now. My stock's up right now again. I'm happy. I got it right here. I'm looking at. Oh, I'm talking. I just made myself $470. I just made myself $475.
Would
I'm
you please
talking to
learn how
you.
to invent more time? Because that's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out. I can't invent more time.
All right. So how do we avoid common errors? That's the key I want to talk about. We try to come up with something every week, but this week's segment is about how inventors can avoid common errors. And I can't wait to hear this.
Well, first of all, and I mean this with the greatest of affection for local chambers of commerce. All right. Their idea is, how do you start a new pizza parlor? It is not how you take a product to market.
Yeah.
And so they do these pitch fests. Oh my God, shoot yourself now. And, do a business plan. You don't have a business yet. And so some of those common mistakes can start an inventor down the wrong path. What do you do first? All right, has nothing to do with starting a business, and has everything to do with, do you have something you can protect? Do you have something that a consumer would pay for? Are you solving a problem other people understand? And so some of the mistakes are early on, because nobody grows up and says, I'm going to be an inventor. They might, every once in a while fantasize about it in the 4th grade, but not really. And so the easy mistakes that we see that cost a ton of money are the early onset mistakes. And it's paying too much for the business plan, because you don't have a business yet. It's paying too much for the patent. I'll get inventors all the time that'll call and say, well, I spent 50 grand on the patent. Find a different attorney.
Yeah.
It should have been 10. And so we see a lot of inventors, where, they'll get an attorney that does corporate work. And he's a registered patent attorney, but he likes doing corporate work because it's a guaranteed income. So he either way overcharges or he does a crummy job. Attorneys are like any other place. There's places you go to get your hair cut that you'd never go back again. Well, there's attorneys out there just like it. And my husband is an attorney. I love him dearly. But he would tell you that. I learned that from him. It's like, you pick a good one. And same thing with prototypers. There's some really good engineers out there, but they've all got a sweet spot. And so assuming that every engineer can do every job is bad decision making. And there are people out there that just gut the inventor. They've got no skin in the game, so they don't care whether or not the product gets to market. They've sent the invoice. So I always tell inventors, it's like, be really careful who's charging you up front. All right. There's certain ones that you need to be able to hold accountable. There are times when somebody says, oh, let me invest in that, and you want to say, no, thank you. All right. And so, we really help the inventors learn, and a lot of that we do through the Inventors Roundtable, where they can come and ask the questions and talk about what's going on, who are, what stage are they at, and what do they need?
Well, as I said, I am, a fortune teller. I can see the future, and I'm just trying to catch them and say, oh, I'm looking into your future. I see that you're going to make a $25,000 mistake. Why don't you give me 12.5? Put it in my show before you blow it. That way, you can keep us on the air. That way, you're gonna lose 25 grand. So don't you think it'd be a good idea for them to listen to the King Fortune Teller, to just take half of it, put it in Home Talk, put it in Invent America? You know what I'm saying? That way, keep the show on the air, keep them from making the mistakes. Yeah, what do you think? I got it solid, right?
Oh yeah, work? For sure. I think you should get a patent on that.
Oh yeah, I should patent that. Yeah. No, I know we're having fun, but man, me and you, in the early days, we just used to shake our head, because when the show first started, we got a lot of people that already made the mistakes. Like,
oh, I know.
You remember that? I would shake our head and say, "There's nothing we can do for you."
So many people come to me that used, they used LegalZoom, they used InventHelp, and it's like, oh my goodness, they'll tell me what they've got and say, oh well, the patent issued. Of course, because this was not a good idea. Or it's too narrow. We had one that, they said, well, she goes, well, we should make it out of something biodegradable. And I go, you can't. And she goes, why not? And I said, because your patent said it's made out of aluminum. Well, any good registered patent attorney knows better than that.
Yeah,
I know. You put in made out of something like, but not limited to. Shoot, I'm not a registered patent attorney, and I know better than that. So when we see the mistakes that can be made and avoided, those are the ones that hurt.
Well, and I want to also mention to everyone, we got to take a short break, and we're going to start with our guests, but I got to mention to all of y'all, Invent America will be back next year, 2026. And the Inventor Lady, we're going to be entering our third year with the Invent America show. So we got past that 2-year threshold, Rita, and the show is still there.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I don't know how, but it's still there.
Yeah,
Let's take a shot. Let's take a short break right here. This Invent America show alone with my co-host, the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. I'm the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. We'll be back with our first guest, first topic, first inventor right here. Stay tuned. Yay!
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. This segment is brought to you by Product Quick Start and Noah McNeely. He has done a lot of the prototypes and getting things teed up for manufacturing for our inventors who've gone to ASD Market Week with us. So we want to thank Noah for being out there and helping all of our inventors get teed up. And Noah, you're awesome. Thank you. So my first guest today is George Butler. George has invented several different things. A couple of them he's taken to ASD Market Week. So George, retired rocket scientist, and we always laugh about that. So what are you, a rocket scientist? Well, in this case, yes, he was a rocket scientist. So the fact that he's got the engineering ability to, come up with these products and then do the prototypes in his garage. Well, you go, George. And one of them is the quick leash. And the other one is a really cool flagpole holder that you don't have to get on a ladder.
Oh, the Easy Flag.
Yes. So tell our inventors about your two products.
Okay, well, the Easy Flag is just that. It's easy. It's all it is. It's a wall-mounted bracket that swivels up and down. And in the down position, usually there's no flag in it because it's swiveled down. So you want to hang a flag, take your flag pole, which has an adapter on the very end of it, and you stick it in and it snaps into place. Then you have this special wand with a little fork on it, and you just lift up the pole and it goes click, 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 4 different angles, and there you have it, whichever angle you want. You take it down, you push it up 1 more click, and it rotates it back down again, and you pull it out. No more ladders, easy breezy. My 10-year-old granddaughter can put a flag up on a bracket that's 10 feet high.
Wow. So
no other product. It's so simple and intuitive that it hasn't been invented already. Blows my mind.
I know. And you know what? I've had inventors tell me that, and I'm thinking, that is really cool. I'm not sure why that's not been out there for a long time. So when you look back on your years of doing this, what was your experience with, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? What was your mistake when you got it all done? It's like, what was I thinking?
Well, it took a few attempts to make prototypes that worked correctly, okay? It just doesn't happen overnight. And I do CAD design, so that's not hard for me. But then to make these parts out of metal, you got to go to a special company that does prototyping. And there's one in Minnesota called Proto Mole. You send your CAD file to them, and they send within a week and a half the picture of your part with all the parts that might not work right, and I reevaluate them and maybe make some changes. And I send it back. Then they make me those parts so accurately, it's ridiculous. It assembles perfectly, and it works, and there you have it. Now, the problem is working with flag companies. And here's what I learned along the way. Flag companies aren't exactly making a lot of money. And so they want to sell their products at a low cost, which means they got to buy them at a low cost, which means you got some of those flag brackets, they're cheaply made. And that's why you got to get up on the ladder. It's like there's really no attention to safety. And in the business I was in, safety, I actually took a class at the university in safety. And the teacher had some stories that would blow your mind. Some of the things people do that are absolutely ridiculous, but they do it because they got to make the time or whatever. So I looked at the safety aspect very closely, okay? So that's the flag bracket, it works. Flag companies, they looked at it, I sent them the parts, and they sent them videos and all that stuff. Oh, it's too expensive to make or sell, something like that. I'm thinking, okay, that kind of says it all.
Yeah, because
So
they're making the flag. They don't care about the bracket and they don't care about safety. They want to sell more flags.
correct.
And
But
so,
this is a way to
yeah,
make it fun to put a flag up on a wall on your eave above your garage or whatever, and take it down. If the wind starts coming up or the rain or something, you can go out there in 2 seconds, bring it down. It's like click, click, you're done. So that's what I had to deal with. That didn't impress them. It was too much money. They couldn't see selling it, and it was weird working with them.
Oh,
So that aside, I'll bring you to that's why I didn't go. It's just flag companies. Oh, here's something else we noticed. The United States is the only country that puts, for the most part, flags out for people to see. Otherwise, you got to go to some country's post office or a government building or something like that to see their flag. We found that out in Scotland, Ireland, where else? Denmark, France. They don't put flags out. They have a pretty flag. It's really nice. They could care less. I even went into a store and asked about flag brackets. They go, "What's that?" They didn't. No, they didn't. My wife was with me. She said, "I can't believe they don't. They'll sell you a flag. It's up to you to put it on a mount or something like that." It was crazy.
well, it is crazy. And I know that, we've got a lot of decorative flags that
Yeah,
people hang out,
yeah,
flowers and birds and all kinds of things that we put out there. So, when the the other countries aren't doing it, but we had years ago some folks that did a little pet tag holder, and when they found out that all of the shelf space in the pets area was owned by 4 companies that were making the collars already, they
yeah.
didn't want this pet tag holder. Both of my dogs still use this pet tag holder. And so what we did is like, all right, where else are we going to go? They sold thousands of these by going to the doggy parks where dogs were losing their tags.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
it's like, all right, so where else can you go? What's the strategy here? And we said, where do people lose their pet tags? At the doggy parks. And so they started selling them at the doggy daycares. And people would go in and say, oh, yeah, you want to look for your dog tags? There'd be thousands of them in a box or a drawer. And they'd say, oh, here, you might want to buy one of these. And my dogs have not lost a single set of tags since we started using this product.
Wow. So one of the companies I went to, just getting back to the flags, I have one more thing to show you. The largest flag company in the world is NN Flags. They make flags for all the government. Every flag you see, even the one on the moon, is an NN flag, okay? On the Capitol, everywhere in the government is NN flags. That's a big deal. So I actually got a hold of them, sent them all the information on my patent and everything like that. And the guy says, this is after about 2 weeks of thinking about it. Oh, too expensive. And that was it. End of the discussion.
Yeah. Well,
They have 5 major outlets. One of the huge buildings, all they do is they stitch and assemble just the stars for the
wow.
flag. That's all they do. One
Wow.
does the stripes and the last one does the full assembly. That's how big they are. Okay.
So I know you want to be able to license the intellectual property for this, and along with the other one as well. So we are going to be working on that and seeing if we can't get it out there to somebody that's not obsessed with them making the flags. Somebody that does something else. So anyway, we're going to work on that. George, thank you so much for being with us. We've got to go pay some bills and wrap it up.
I need 20 seconds to show you the next one. That's all I need. Okay. I kind of got wrapped around.
Well,
Okay. Okay. Pet leashes. Have you seen my pet leash?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So here's a doggy. See the doggy?
Well, you need,
This is
George,
called a pet
George,
leash.
I don't mean to interrupt you here, but remember, this is radio, so nobody can see the pet leash.
They can't, you don't want to see him?
We can't see him. This is radio. So anyway, that's radio. So,
This is called the Q leash, and it's just simple, and it goes on like that. I can put gloves on and activate this leash. That's what makes it special. Okay, that's enough.
all right. All right, all right. George, thanks so much. We'll get you on for some video so you can show all your products. And stick with us, everybody. We're going to run and pay some bills. And we will be right
Pay some
back
bills.
with Dan Schlossberg. Stick with us, everybody.
If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free. inventorsroundtable.org.
And thanks for being with us again for Invent America, because America solves the problems for the American consumer. My inventor for this segment is Dan Schlossberg, and the first time I saw what Dan had invented, I'm thinking, okay, I need 2 of those because I've got that exact problem on my deck. Dan, thanks so much for being with us today. What did you invent?
So thank you for having me. And my name is Dan Schlossberg. I'm a first-time inventor, and I created the Patio Poncho out of pure necessity. Honestly, it came from frustration. You know, I'd look outside, I'd see clouds rolling in, and next thing you know, I'm running outside, grabbing all my cushions before the rain hits. And I thought, there's got to be an easier way to do this. And that's how the Patio Poncho was born. It's just a cover that goes on in seconds. So I decided to design something better, a quick, retractable, waterproof cover that protects your outdoor cushions and furniture with one simple pull. And, you know, the Patio Poncho, it keeps your furniture ready to enjoy. No soaking wet cushions, no mess, just convenience. It's really about making things easier and enjoyable.
And that's the perfect way to think about a new product that you're trying to get into the marketplace, is that you're solving a problem that people understand right away. It's not like Apple that had to spend millions of dollars to teach you that an apple is something you play with instead of something you eat. And so when we look at, you know, it covers the patio. Your name is so perfect. You know, if I was advising, you know, when I tell people, it's like, what would you Google to find you? All right, patio, furniture, you know, covering, poncho. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
An A plus on name. Okay, so, you know, in your time frame of doing this, all right, what was your, what was I thinking moment?
Well, you know, I was thinking I have to get into this. I've had ideas over the years, and I just wanted to do something that I can invent something that's going to help people. Basically, I made a lot of mistakes up front, and I've literally learned from them. One of the biggest mistakes that I made was thinking that I had to get everything perfect before showing it to anyone. So I kept tweaking the design instead of getting real feedback. But then once I really started showing the product to my family, friends, neighbors, I realized what really mattered to people and customers is simplicity and ease of use. And that shift really helped me refine the design faster and make something that I think people actually want and that I really couldn't solve for every issue. I just had to move forward and try and figure that out.
Very good, because I get so many inventors say, well, I haven't filed any intellectual property yet because it's not perfect. Well, it doesn't need to be perfect for a provisional filing because it's supposed to be pretty broad. So details get ironed out later. And, you know, then they miss a date because somebody files ahead of them. And so that, you know, that's a tough one. Well, they will have worked for years, and I hear it all the time. I had a gentleman say, I've taken $1 million from an investor, but we haven't filed any intellectual property yet. If I was that investor, I would want to wring his neck because, you know, that money is going down the tubes refining prototypes that have not had any intellectual property put on them.
That's right.
And so that's one of the big mistakes that we see is people wait too long to file anything. And you know, and then one of the other mistakes that we see frequently is that people will spend too much money on market research instead of just going to a show. And when we see people go to a show, you know, the professionals are there. They're shaking your hand. They're telling you exactly what they see. They're telling you what they think their consumer price points would be. They give you ideas on packaging, you know, and that makes such a difference. Whereas when you hire a company just to do market research and they talk to a bunch of consumers, they got no skin in the game. You're just an invoice.
That's right. I understand. And listen, when I spoke to you and I'm speaking to other people in the industry that are inventors, it's really eye-opening to me. It really is. And to get that feedback Like you mentioned to me, I think the product was great, which I really appreciated. And maybe the price might be a little high, so I've adjusted things. So I'm learning as I'm going along, which has really been helpful.
Well, and one of the things that I tell inventors is when you set your price point on 5,000 or 10,000,
Hmm.
because that's when you license it, that's where they're going to be at. And that gives you a more realistic view than doing a price point on 1,000.
Makes sense. Mm.
And so those are some of the things that we look at. So what's your ultimate goal, Dan? Where do you want to get to?
Right now, from what I'm also learning from other inventors, first time inventors, is that we're really focused right now on brand recognition, getting the Patio Poncho name out there and into more homes. I think that's really important for us. We're really exploring some online partnerships like platforms like TikTok and Facebook to get the name out there, get onto Amazon. But for me, I hope this is just the beginning, man. I want to keep creating products that help people. And I want people to see the product, and I want people to understand the product, and I think it can excel.
So getting the product out there so people can see it, that's a big deal. So you've got now inventory, so you can sell product. You've
Mhm.
got a website. Tell everybody, where can they go to find the Patio Poncho?
Thank you for that. And yes, you can see I recommend that you go to the website, thepatioponcho.com, and you could see the product in action. You could see demos. You could see all different things that we have on there, like the videos, the customer reviews, what people are saying. And really, it shows how simple it is to protect your outdoor space. No more worrying about running inside and grabbing your tarps and running and throwing them on there when they blow away, or anything of other things like that. That's really been a big problem for what we've experienced. So that's really what we're looking to do. We're just getting the brand out there. We're getting a huge following on viral TikToks and such, but it's been really good.
Well, and when I first saw your video, it's like, oh, holy cow, this is just so obvious and so wonderful. So, the fact that I can put it on the back, and my chairs look exactly like yours. I can put it on the back of the chair. The weather's coming in, I go in, I pull it over, it protects it. I am not running around trying to move all those cushions with the rain and the wind blowing on me. I knew exactly what the problem was that you solved, and I just thought, oh my God, I know this guy. It was so wonderful.
Well, thank you
Anyway,
for that. I appreciate it.
we are hoping that you will join us at ASD Market Week. We've got a spot with your name on it, dear, so that we can get all of this out there. And thank you so much for being with us today. We'll get the links up and we will start posting that website. So thanks, Dan. Stick with us, everybody. We will be right back after we go pay some bills. And if you know an inventor out there, or you are an inventor, join us at the Inventor Roundtable meetings, where you can come and talk to other folks that are like Dan and Ian and George and Karen, that will be able to talk to you about mistakes they mastered, successes that they've had, and some good service providers they used, or some of the scoundrels they learned to stay away from. We'll be right back, everybody. Is Invent America, because America invents. So, my industry expert, who's been inventing for a long time now, Ian Osborne. Ian has got a really cool. He's got products that he manufactures in California, so we could do Made in America with him. But he's also got this really cool golf product for nighttime golfers. Ian, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. So tell everybody, another retired rocket scientist. I just got rocket scientists all over the place today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ian.
Uh, Father of two boys, grandfather of three kids, and been married 36 years as of this month, and enjoying life. I love inventing products and seeing things out there that are either not working properly and then redesigning them so they are easier to use, better to manufacture, and or just more cost effective to the general user.
Well, the cool one that you've got going now that you're trying to license, and I know that you've been manufacturing, is the night golf systems. Why is that different than just those golf balls that light up? I can go buy 3 of them in a package.
So the golf balls that light up are basically they're a overseas manufactured golf ball that has a spring trigger and a battery inside. And the only way they physically work is to hit them. And once they hit, they have a internal timer that shuts them back off. So you don't have the time to either walk or drive in a golf cart if you're on a golf course to be able to see that ball after you've hit it. You can see it fly through the air, and then after that it shuts itself off. So then you're out there looking with a flashlight trying to figure out where in the heck did your golf ball go. Just
Okay.
fun to watch. The glow-in-the-dark golf ball was invented in 1984, and it used a Siloon light stick shoved inside of it. And here, 20 plus years later, it was reinvented with a luminescent polymer embedded within the actual golf ball itself. The problem is that charging those has been predominantly a handheld device, a flashlight, and you can't get a very long charge out of it. It'll charge it, really nice, right? When you're first using it, you hit it, you can still see it somewhat, but it has to be really dark outside in order to be able to see it. So I invented a machine that can handle, depending upon the size of the machine, our largest machine can handle 3,000 golf balls, and it will charge the golf balls in 90 seconds flat to a excited state that when you look at them, it literally looks like they're vibrating. They are overcharged so much, and they will stay glowing for approximately 14 hours. So don't have any problems not seeing them when you have to hit the golf ball. And when you hit them at night, they are so bright that it looks like a shooting star going through the air. It is incredible to see.
That's so cool. I've got a couple of different guys that are interested in seeing your golf ball. So I'm sending them to your website and your video. You know, after doing this for so many years, what advice can you give an inventor so that they don't make a common mistake?
And the biggest thing is I learned, a lesson that I learned is that we didn't know how the searching process worked, and so we did the best we could on a product to be able to find if there was anything out there that was going to compete against us. And we did everything we could, and we spent quite a bit of time and money, and then we ended up going with Search Quest. And for the $500 that it cost us to have an entire search worldwide and way back in date and time, allowed us to look at the product and go, okay, here are the 10 entities that we could have a problem with. And then the rest of it allowed us to be able to move forward with the product. So the product is still sitting on the shelf because it's never been done before in the instance that we're doing it. But learning our lesson of don't spend a lot of money until it's time to, actually do a real Search Quest, process so that you can get your product verified, whether it's going to be competing against somebody or infringing upon somebody. So it was really nice to be able to utilize that program.
It's interesting that you bring that up, and I did not even ask you to bring that up. But we'd had a team out of Florida that were very angry when something came back that had been filed in 2015, and they wanted to say, but the search didn't show that. And I go, you never had a search done.
Yeah.
You never provided the attorney with a Search Quest search or a professional search that anybody else did either. You just said, here, we know there's nothing out there like it. Can you file this? And he did what they asked, but something came back that was just almost dead on that was done in 2015.
Right.
And a search would have found it.
Yeah. in the process of searching, when it comes to the golf product, we did a search and there was only one item that had a flag on us, and they were so narrowly focused on their patent that I had 50 workarounds on it. And so we basically patented all 50 of the options around it.
Good for you.
They have theirs, and the fun part for me is that if they ever thought about moving forward, they can't, because now my patent covers all of the other possibilities that they didn't think of, which is pretty cool, which opens up my product to be able to have 50 different products manufactured, which is really cool. So
It is very cool, and it is an honor to know you and to have worked with you all these years, and to kick your leg under the table when you're, saying something to someone you shouldn't. That was
Been there,
another lesson learned. Yeah.
This is a permanent dent in my shin for it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So what's next for you?
Objectively, I'd like to be able to find a company to be able to license the product and actually see more of the units out there in the field. I mean, we've already got 50 units out there at a couple golf courses, and they're making serious amounts of money with the product. So the ROI is phenomenal for what we manufacture, and what the actual end user gets out of it is pretty neat to see.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we are excited to help you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.